Hello everyone, welcome to the another topic of biochemistry genetics. Today we are on the subtopic of mode of inheritance, that is autosomal dominant disorders. Today we are discussing a subtopic of mode of inheritance, that is autosomal dominant disorders. So in a brief, what I want to tell about the autosomal dominant disorder is the autosomal dominant disorder is often due to defect in structural genes. The many generation, both males and females, are affected. So I want you to know that if there is defect in the structural genes, then there is result of the autosomal dominant disorder. And in many generation, both males and females are affected. The autosomal dominant disorder always manifests in the heterozygous state, not in homozygous state. That you should know very well. So each affected person has an affected parent, and at least one parent of the index is usually affected. That means the person who is affected, the affected person usually at least have one parent index affected. So later on I will discuss about the pedigree chart that I have shown here. You can also see in this pedigree chart is that the affected child have usually affected parent. So the both males and females are affected, and both can transmit the disease or the condition. And the affected person, if marries unaffected person, then every child has one chance in two of having the disease. That means there is 50% chance of transferring the disease in the autosomal dominant disorder. Now I'll tell you the brief example how does it occurs. So let us take an example. The normal allele is small a. The autosomal dominant disease allele is capital A, that I have marked with the red color. The male with capital A and small a genotype is affected, and the female with both small a genotype is normal. And the condition of the parent is described like this. That means the genotype is capital A and small a, and phenotype is affected male. And the genotype of the female is both small a, and the phenotype is normal female. Now what happened, let's discuss. According to the Mendelian inheritance, you all know the Mendelian inheritance. What happens is that all the genes pair up with another genes. That means all the paternal and the maternal genes are paired up. So the outcome will be, this is the maternal genotype, this is the paternal genotype, and this is the maternal genotype. So this will pair up with A, resulting with the diseased gene. So this pair with the female, resulting in another diseased allele. So this, now later on, the small a pair up with another small a, creating the normal genotype, and this small a again pair up with this small a, creating the another normal genotype. So if we see the four children, if we see the four progeny, then the genotype ratio is 1:1. That means there are two affected alleles and there are two normal alleles. That's why the genotype ratio of the affected children is to the normal children is 1:1, and the phenotype is 50% affected. The phenotype is 50% affected and 50% normal. So you can see also in this box is that this diseased allele pairs with the normal allele, creating the diseased progeny. So the disease allele again pairs up with the normal allele, creating the diseased progeny, and the normal, if pairs with normal, creates a normal progeny. So you can see also in the pedigree chart also, the affected children at least have one affected parent, but it is not compulsory that the affected parent will have all the affected children. Only the 50% of the children will have chance to acquire the disease from their parent. So therefore the half of the genes from the affected male will carry the diseased allele. So on mating, male and female gametes are mixed in the different combination. The result is that half of the children will be heterozygous, that means disease zygous, and will have the disease, because always in the autosomal dominant disorder, it always manifests in the heterozygous state. Now let us discuss about the characters of the autosomal dominant disorder and what are the various type of autosomal dominant disorder in the system wise. Now let us discuss about the characters of the autosomal dominant disorders. Briefly, what I want you to know is that the autosomal dominant disorder or the autosomal dominant inheritance is often pleiotropic and variably expressive. So the family history is very crucial to the diagnosis. With one affected heterozygous parent, on average, half of the children is affected. So there is 50% chance of inheriting the disease. There is always the 50% chance of inheritance the disease. The disease progeny will always has the disease parents, at least one disease parents, but some portion of the progeny may not have the disease parent. For example, let us see this pedigree chart. The female is affected, the male is not affected, but there are the 3 children from the 2 parents, so at least one affected parents. Here are only 2 children are affected, but the 1 children is not affected. So but some portion of the progeny may not have the disease parents. So the clinical features can be modified by the variation in the penetrance and expressivity. So the biochemical mechanism of the autosomal dominant disorder depend upon the nature of the mutation and the type of the protein affected. The mutation may lead to decreased production of the genes, dysfunctional protein and inactive protein. So how can the disease be the dominant or recessive? Whether such the mutation give rise to dominant or recessive disease depend on whether remaining copy of gene is capable of compensating for the loss or not. That's how the disease inheritance is dominant or recessive. That's how it is categorized. So many autosomal diseases arising from the defective mutation fall into one of the few familiar patterns. So now let us enlist. Or I will give you few examples of the autosomal dominant disorders by system wise that you should know very well. So here are the various list of the autosomal dominant disorder system wise. So in the nervous system, there is the Huntington disease, neurofibromatosis, myotonic dystrophy, and tuberous sclerosis. In urinary, it is autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. In GI, it is familial polyposis of the coli. And in hematopoietic, it is hereditary spherocytosis and von Willebrand disease. In the skeletal, it is Marfan syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, osteogenesis imperfecta, and achondroplasia. In the metabolic, there is the familial hypercholesterolemia, acute intermittent porphyria, hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia, multiple endocrine neoplasia, and von Hippel-Lindau disease. So these are the various autosomal dominant disorder that I have categorized the system wise. So this is the lecture of the autosomal dominant disorder that comes in the subtopic of mode of inheritance that you should know very well. Thank you.